Well, hello again everybody. In this video I'm going to take you through our top 5 dislikes of campsites. This video is made as part of a collaboration group with other motorhome and caravan channels. Be sure to check out the links in the description of this video to see what the other members of the collaboration group made of this topic and what their 5 top dislikes are. Now, of course, we do mainly stay on campsites. In fact, we've never done what they call wild camping or freedom camping, where you don't stay on a campsite. Not that we've got any particular objections to it, it's just not something we've ever done as yet. So I'm interpreting this topic as what I dislike about the larger main campsites as opposed to the small sort of 5 van sites like CLs and CSs. Number one for me, I think, has to be the time that you have to arrive on the site by. Now, it may be different if you're retired or you're self-employed or something, but for me, I work a normal 9 to 5 job and I have limited holidays, so a lot of the times we go away in the van is for a weekend. Finish work at 5 o'clock, have to get home to pick up Nikki, or maybe Nikki and Mia, or whoever's coming with us, and it can then be sort of 6, 6:30ish by the time we're on the road. Now, it may be perfectly possible to get to some sites by 8 o'clock still, but we like to go a little bit further afield at times. And it can be a bit of a rush to try and get there by 8, and in many cases it's impossible. So you'll find yourself staying in a late night arrivals section like this. Now, while that's perfectly good and it's got power and you can be perfectly comfortable there, for a weekend you've only probably booked 2 nights. You've only booked Friday and Saturday, and one of those nights you've spent in a place that's not a nice, pleasant pitch. So, you know, you've effectively not lost one of the nights. You've still stayed on the site, as it were, but you've not stayed in a very nice place, really. And a lot of the CLs have this sussed. They will just let you rock up whenever you like, as long as you don't cause loads of disturbance. Pitch where you want, and it's all sorted out at a later time. I've arrived on CLs 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it's very easy. You can just pitch up, sort it all out in the morning. Number 2 for me would really be a very similar theme, is the checkout time on a Sunday. Obviously, there are very, very good reasons why that's in place. The pitch has to be available for someone else coming in on a Sunday. Some sites have narrow entrance routes, so they want everybody gone before other people come in. Some sites, of course, will let you stay on longer, and this applies really across main sites and CLs. Lots of CLs have a checkout time, but they do tend to be more flexible about it if they haven't got anyone else coming in. And it's a similar thing with the weekend issue. If you've trying to get away for a weekend, you've arrived late, you've been put on a late night arrivals pitch, you've got to move your van onto the site properly on the Saturday, and then you get the Saturday and the Saturday night, but then Sunday is a bit of a washout because you've got to be off site by 11 o'clock or something. And you know, once you're off site with your van, you've then got issues if you want to go somewhere, perhaps with parking and that sort of thing. Whereas if you could leave it on the site, then then you can go for a walk, you can go for a bike ride without being stressed about having to get back to get off site by a certain time. So again, perfectly understandable why these sites do it, but it just leaves you feeling a little bit like you've not really had a weekend away, you've just had a Saturday really. Now number 3 is less of a dislike about campsites really, but more of a like about the more smaller informal sites. And that's to do with pitch orientation and the rules about parking next to a peg and doors facing certain ways and things. Now again, perfectly understand why the larger sites do this. Obviously you don't want people sort of facing each other where they don't want to and causing problems and things with their habitation doors facing the same way and awnings facing the same way and stuff. But we have a particular issue with our van in that the door is at the back and hence the awning goes on the back. So very occasionally this will cause a little bit of consternation where we tried to book an awning pitch and somebody will say, well, your awning must face a certain way off the pitch. You say, well, if I'm going to do that, I've got to park sideways on the pitch. Well, oh no, you can't do that. So usually it's got round okay, and you explain to someone, well, you know, the awning goes out the back, and they're a little bit nonplussed for a second or two, but then everything's fine. They just say, well, yeah, pitch it up and stick your awning out the back, no worries. But the nice thing about a lot of CLs is they are literally just big fields, and you can park any which way you like, and nobody is particularly bothered, particularly the larger ones where you're well away from everyone else. Some of the CLs, of course, do have quite regulated pitches where they're small, and then you have to kind of try and stick to the convention. But generally, it's a little bit freer and easier on the smaller CL, CS type sites. Number 4 is Goblins. Now, for some reason, we've very rarely had problems with Goblins when we've been on the smaller 5-van sites. But on some of the larger sites, they seem to have allowed them to become infested with goblins, really, and they can cause big problems, particularly at night. Take, for instance, when we were at the Caravan site a year or two back. Well, number 5. I've got to think of a 5th one, haven't I? This is tricky because, in fact, we really do rather like campsites and we like camping. So this is a tricky topic. But if anything, I think I'm going to have a bit of a cop-out on this and say that our 5th dislike is really that we can't attend them as often as we'd like, really. As I say, work full-time and have limited holiday leave, so we do try and get away as often as we can. Don't forget to check out the other channels and what they made of it, and definitely let me know if there's anything you think I should have included, anything that you really dislike about campsites, well, be they large or small, really, in the comments below. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. Give the like button a press. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see some more.